Now let's go to our top story. At 11 minutes past 7, a 17-year-old boy from Banks has been arrested in connection with the stabbings in Southport. It's just been confirmed in the last 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes or so, that 2 children have died in that attack. Police report there's no wider threat to the public, and you heard from the emergency services there just talking about how difficult it was to arrive at that scene. They are trained for this, of course, but how horrific the scene was to arrive at, and of course thoughts with those families who have lost children in this awful incident. Let's go to Constance Kampfner now, who is the Northern Correspondent for The Times and is at the scene. Constance, good evening.
Good evening.
So you've just heard there from our 3 emergency services officials confirming, I think the top line on this now, sadly, is that 2 children have lost their lives in this attack.
Yes, and 9 other children have been injured, 6 of which are in a critical condition, and 2 adults are also in a critical condition. So it is a truly devastating attack.
What else did we hear during that press conference? We, of course, heard from all the emergency services, but the police were keen to say that there's no wider threat to the public now, but no hint as to the motivation behind the attack, Constance.
No, nothing yet. We know that it's not being treated as terror-related and that a 17-year-old young man or boy has been arrested and is in custody. And as you said, the police say there is no wider threat to the public. But people on the street and in the street surrounding were understandably very, very shook up by the events of earlier today.
Yeah, you arrived on the scene, I know, this afternoon. Just tell us what you've been hearing, who you've been speaking to.
Yeah, people heard screams at around 10 minutes to midday. Children and quite quickly understood that something really quite terrible was happening. We have eyewitnesses who saw children bleeding out. One mother who kind of in a panic bundled a bleeding 10-year-old daughter into her car, only to then kind of turn around and drive back towards the ambulances. Understandably, just did not know what to do in that moment, had been expecting to pick up her daughter from what we understand was a kind of Taylor Swift session, on a beautiful sunny day. The last thing that anyone might have been expecting.
Yeah, and just tell us a little bit more about this, because obviously this is why there appear to be so many. 2 children killed, but also 9 others injured. 6 of them in a critical condition. This is the reason why there were so many youngsters who were at the behest of the attacker.
Yeah, it was some kind of yoga and dance workshop, we believe, and just a kind of fun summer's day activity. So all those children were gathered there for that. We have a couple of eyewitnesses saying they saw a man jump out of a taxi and seemed to purposefully kind of head for that address. So again, we don't know anything about motivation. This is just what we're hearing from eyewitnesses on the ground about what happened.
Constance, thank you so much for being with us on the scene there in Southport. That is Constance Kampfner, Northern Correspondent for The Times. And there is, of course, a live blog at thetimes.com, just updating you minute by minute on the events there, the sad events there. Confirmed that 2 children are dead after that attack, 9 others injured, 6 of them critically. Constance, thanks for speaking to us. Thank you. This is Kate Borsay. It is the evening edition here on Times Radio.
We're now going to cross live to Southport, where Serena Kennedy, senior officer, is giving a police press conference on the incident there.
Great sadness today. I'm here to advise that 2 children have died as a result of the injuries sustained in this morning's knife attack. 9 other children have been injured, and 6 of them are in a critical condition. All those injured have suffered stab wounds sustained during the attack, and 2 adults are also in a critical condition after being injured during the incident. A 17-year-old male from Banks in Lancashire, who is originally from Cardiff, has been arrested on suspicion of murder and attempted murder, and is being taken to a police station where he will be interviewed by detectives. My officers were called to reports of a stabbing at 11:47 this morning and at an address in Southport. When they arrived, they were shocked to find that multiple people, many of whom were children, had been subjected to a ferocious attack and had suffered serious injuries. It is understood that the children were attending a Taylor Swift event at a dance school when the offender, armed with a knife, walked into the premises and started to attack inside the children. We believe that the adults who were injured were bravely trying to protect the children who were being attacked. As a mum and a nana, I can't begin to imagine the pain and suffering that the families of the victims are going through at this moment in time, and I wish to send my heartfelt condolences to them. Our specialist family liaison officers are providing support to the families of the deceased children and the children who were injured at this moment in time. And we'll be working with our partners, including Sefton Council, to provide that wider trauma support to those who've been affected by this incident. The investigation is in its early stages and the motivation for the incident remains unclear. However, Counter-Terrorism Police North West have offered their support to Merseyside Police as the full circumstances of what has happened are being established. At this moment in time, the investigation is not being treated as terrorist-related. I would appeal to anyone who's witnessed anything or who has information that could help us, the investigation, to contact us on Crime Stoppers 0800 555 111. And anyone who's been affected by this incident can contact Victim Care Merseyside Service for help and support. Our hub of locally trained staff are here to provide free and emotional support and practical tailored advice to you. You can contact the Victim Care Hub Merseyside on 0808 175 3080. Thank you.